Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to create a PowerShell script that will allow us to scan ports. So we will be able to check where which ports are open and which ports are closed from a specific domain or host name or website or server uh, or any machine that we can say. So in the current directory, I have created a script.tsn file, and this is where we will be start writing our code. So let's just jump in. So what we're going to be doing is we will ask user to enter the domain name and then the port range, and then we will be using that port range to scan where which port is open in that range and which port is closed. So to do that, first we need to set the domain. So let's say domain is equal to, we will prompt user to enter the domain name, so read host, and we will ask enter domain name to scan, and this will prompt you to enter the domain name. And now we will do the same for the port. So enter port range to scan, and this will be like, we will give an example like eg from 1 to 100 or 1000. This will be the syntax of this. So now once we have the port range, or we can say ports in domain, the next thing we need to do is specify to figure out the starting port number and the end port number. So let's say start port number is equal to, we will use the dollar port dot ports dot split. We have to figure out the starting port, so we will split that by dash sign, and then we will grab the first one is the starting port. So let's say if we enter this port range from 1 to 1000 and we split it by a dash, then we have two elements. One is 1 and the another is 1000. So if on the index 0 we have 1, so that's how we will achieve the starting port. And now we have to convert that into integer, so I will pass a data type, let's say int. So now we have to do the same for int port. So int port number, and then split that and convert it to integer and pick off the second one. So as I said before, this is the index 1 and this is the index 0. So now we have to figure out the IP address from the provided domain name. So to do that, we will use the resolve host DNS command. So to do that, we will do something like resolve DNS name, and then we will pass the domain. So the way it works is it's going to return some results. If I come here to the terminal and let's say resolve domain name and let's say google.com, as you can see it has the domain name, the type, record type, we have type A and type 4A, the TTL, time to live, and the section as well as the IP address. So we are interested in picking up the IP address, especially IP version 4, not IP version 6. So to pick up the IP version 4 from this is the with the index 1, this is the index 0. So we can do something like convert this into a string, let's say, or array, and then the index 1, we have this. Now we can grab the property that is the IP address. So I will copy this, and now as you can see we have the IP address right here. So we will use this expression, and I will come here, remove that. Now this will give us the IP address. Now the domain name is static, so we will pass the domain variable. Now here we can pass uh, some flags as well uh, to prevent this from throwing an error. So we have the error action, and we have to stop it, so it will not throw an error that will break our script. Now the next thing is to start a loop through the port range and scan and display the results. So we will just show a message like we are scanning ports, and then we will ports of this domain, that is the variable, and then we will specify the range. So ports range, or we can say like through dollar n underscore port underscore number, and then we will pass the IP address as well, just to display a message. So IP, that is the variable, so this will just display a message scanning ports of this. I think we can pass the range as well, so let's say colon, and then here the port range. So let's remove this just to display a message. This is not anything, so it is nothing to do with the logic, so it's just a message. We can provide anything here we want, so let's say dot dot or dash dash, anything, and then the end underscore port number, port number, and now this will display that message. So the domain name, now if I save this, come here and execute the script.ps1, let's say google.com, and the port range, let's say 1 and 1000, and now if I hit enter, as you can see we got the message that scanning ports of google.com, and then the IP address and the port range from 1 to 1000. So that is what we are interested in. Now we need to loop through the port range and scan it using the command that we are going to be using is the TCP client. So now we can use the for loop to loop through starting port up to end port and scan that. So for port is equal to starting port, not 0 here. So now we have the start port number, and port is less than end port, so end underscore port number, and then port plus plus, and now we have the loop here. So there can be many ways to scan a port where it is open or closed. So we have the TCP client, we have the test connection command, we have the ping command. So the one that we are going to be using in this script is the TCP client. So let's say socket is equal to new object of the socket or the TCP client, and then system dot net dot socket. We have the sockets here dot TCP client. So now we have the object, let's say connection is equal to dollar socket dot begin connect, and now here we will pass different parameters. So if I the first parameter is going to be, I'm going to pass the IP address. The second one is the port number, so the port number that we specified here, this will be the iteratable port number, and then the next two parameter we're going to be passing null for now. And now we have to wait for a second and see if we are able to connect or get some response from the host or the domain with that port. So wait is equal to dollar connection dot asynchronous handler dot wait 1, and then 1000, which is 1 second, and then pulse. So now if there is something in the wait variable which mean we got connection successfully with that port to that server. So if I come here, wait dot wait, and if we have the wait variable and we have the property in there that is connected, so if that is true, then we will know that we got connected to the server with that port. So connected. Once that is the case, then we will just write host that the port is open, write host, and we will say port $port number, and then uh, is open, and now we will close the socket dot close, and if that is not the case, then we can display a message that the port is closed. So port number n is closed. So now all of them will be with the same color and the same message, so we can change the foreground color. So let's say cyan, we can pass any color, but for now let's say cyan. I'm gonna pass it. Now we are done with the script, so let's test the script. We'll come here and execute the script.ps1. Let's say google.com, and I know the port 80 might be open, or port 3 will be open on google.com. So let's say port 0 dash port 5. I know port 3 will be open, so if I hit enter, it's going to display the pass message, and then the uh, port 0 is closed. All of them are closed. The port 3 should be open, by the way. We can test that as well, but let's try that on my host, my domain, not google.com script.json, and let's say Zaman.com. I have opened the 21 post for FTP, so I guess the SSH is also open. So let's say from 15 to let's say 30 or 25. Now if I hit enter, it's going to scan that. So yeah, these are the closed ports, but I guess uh, on my host, some of the seems like there is some error with the script. So on my domain, I have opened the FTP and SSH. So let's see, format that. Let's print this one and see what we have in that. Passing Tauseed.zaman.com and 15 and 25. We are getting boolean value in the wait. As you can see here, we got the true, and then again false, but which means the 21 here is open because the wait variable is true here. This is the socket variable. Oh my god. So now if I save this, let's try that again. Script.ps1 passing Tauseed Zaman, and then the port range from 15 to 25. And yeah, I remember the SSH port that is completely random. It's not guessable. So now as you can see, the 21 port is open, and this is the normal port for FTP services. So now we are done with the script. Now you can improve this. We can add like a prompt, more messages, and help messages and comments and all those things. So I will leave that up to you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.